Now I want to talk about the midterm elections. So I've written down a list of why I'm probably going to vote all Republican. I'm going to play it by ear. I'm going to do a little more research. I might leave some blank because the Republican and conservative candidates are so uninspiring that, they don't appeal to me at all. But for the most part, I don't know if I'm ever going to vote Democrat or liberal or progressive or left-leaning Green Party, whatever, ever again in my life. And I have the reasons why, and I would love to debate somebody. If somebody wants to be on Make America Debate Again, hit me up, and I want to have a liberal or progressive on. But I wrote down the reasons why I'm going to vote Republican this year, and I'll explain them all. And you can feel free to disagree. You can feel free to say you don't feel that way. I want people to disagree, but I want you to hear me out and not call me a racist, sexist, xenophobic, Nazi, bigot, and try to delete my video out of existence, because that's a creepy vibe that seems to be becoming pretty mainstream. So, mind control, media mind control, tech politician censorship alliance, racist, politically correct laws, 4 years of unproductive hissy fits, high taxes, healthcare scam, personal liberty, small business growth, foreign policy, trade, pretty much everything under the sun I'm siding with Trump on, and almost everything under the sun I don't see eye to eye with liberals or progressives. I'll go into more detail because I understand people are going to say that's broad and not true. So media mind control, this was always one of my biggest concerns. I believe that the media, just like I talked about through branding, controls the minds of the masses. And if you can control someone's mind, you can control politicians, you can control sales, you can essentially control every element of the world. You can control the wars. So in my personal perspective, it doesn't have to be yours. Media mind control is enormous. When people break free from the mental manipulation, the false branding, the false leaders, the false products, the false food, the false medicine, then we could truly be free. Until then, we're just another circus running in a circle. And when it comes to media mind control, if you turn on the television, which is one of the biggest propagators of mind control and mental manipulation, even the inventor of the television, Philo Farnsworth, wouldn't even let his own kids watch television. Interesting. But if you turn on the television, you have Fox News, which has Shep Smith on it, which has liberal ads running all over it, which has people who sound just like CNN. You have a few people that are kind of breaking the mold and doing their thing. Mostly I like Tucker Carlson. I think he's the best and maybe only real journalist on television doing really good work. Tucker does good work. Besides that little element of Fox News, and there's others too, I'm sure, I've seen some Judge Jeanine clips, Laura Ingraham, there's some winners over there. But overall, you have Fox News, you have like half of Fox News that's leans conservative or sometimes anti-war. You have Tucker doing like pro-Syria pieces. The rest of the television is liberal mind control. SNL, Comedy Central now, every single network, it's like they own 95% of the television, and it's not like woke liberalism, it's like neoliberal, like Democratic Party, like John McCain, George Bush, like Ellen DeGeneres dancing with George Bush, like haha, the Middle East wars were so dope. Like nothing about the television's cool. It's 95% liberal. Twitter, Facebook, Google, YouTube, regardless of what progressives try to say, I'd love to debate them. But it's pretty clear that Google wants you to vote Democrat. YouTube is owned by Google. They want you to vote Democrat. Facebook probably does not want you to vote conservative. Twitter definitely doesn't want you to vote right-wing. The whole tech company, and maybe this is because, I don't know, conservatives need to get better at application making. Maybe you guys got to step it up. But overall, all of social media, almost all of the television, all of the mind control, and they all work with each other. They work with the mainstream media and on YouTube, and it's like it's one big group and we're not in it, as George Carlin would have said, or maybe he wouldn't, I don't know, I don't want to speak for him. Overall, media mind control is a massive concern of mine, and I just don't see the conservatives being the biggest propagators of them. And I feel like this Trump era has brought a surgence into the Republican Party. He's making them realer. He's shaking up the TV system. He's not like George Bush. He's not like anyone I've ever seen. He's definitely not like John McCain and Mitt Romney. I like what he's doing to break the media mind control, and he's done more in 2 years than anybody I've ever seen in my life. And I want to tell you this, I was going to do it in the last segment, I'll do it in this segment. I know that the television doesn't care about you, and I'm not trying to say this to be mean or radical or counterculture. I'm just telling you, you know how much someone cares about you, not based on what they say, but what they do. And if you look at advertisements, and this goes for even the low amount of right-wing television stations that they have, which are not many, look what they sell you. They'll sell you pills, lawyers, pills, unhealthy food. Even CNN will sell you pro-Trump ads. Fox News will show you anti-Trump Tom Steyer ads. They don't actually care about you because they sell you whatever they want. It's like we're little zombies on a couch and they just want to pump us up with unhealthy foods and pills that have side effects of like serious diseases and killing yourself, but they don't care because they have no sort of moral high ground for the stuff they sell you. I'm not going to sell you a pill. If they come to me, Anomaly, I'll pay you $50 million if you sell this pill. If I don't believe in it, I'm not taking it. I don't care if they'll give me $50 million. I'm chilling. I'm definitely not rich, but I have a soul and a moral compass. I probably wouldn't even sell people soda. If Sprite came to me or Coca-Cola was like, yo, Anomaly, dog, let's sell the people Coke and Sprite because it's so dope. And I'm like, well, can I tell them to drink water in the ad because they need to drink water instead of Sprite all the time? If they said no, I probably wouldn't do the ad. Basis being, even someone like Alex Jones, even if you don't like Alex Jones, what impresses me about Alex Jones is he sells all holistic products in his ads and water purifiers, things that are actually good for people. So regardless of what you feel about what's coming out of Alex's mouth, I think he cares about people because he doesn't sell a bunch of, poop. The TV is not like that. They don't sell anybody good stuff. So I don't see how they can pretend to care about you when they're making all their money about talking about Trump. You have anti-Trump stations running pro-Trump ads because they're financial prostitutes. They'll do anything for $1. They'll sell you out. They'll hype up Trump. They'll hate on Trump. They'll dance around. They'll go to Syria. They'll go to Libya. They'll create a huge refugee crisis and make billions of dollars off it. So I don't care what people say. I don't care how much negativity I get because people don't understand my personal journey. But one of the most important things is media mind control. I think the television and a lot of the mass media, they're out of control. They'll do anything for money. And I like that Trump is calling them out. I've never seen anyone do anything like it. And now Republicans are starting to do that. And liberals and progressives are like, oh, he's a tyrant. Like they don't know that the mainstream media is out of hands. Ooh, Trump's a fascist. Why? Because he told you that the television was fake? Because the television was fake? Get out of town and take the bus. Tech Political Censorship Alliance, I pretty much mentioned that in that one. The Democratic Party, you have some people like George Bush and John McCain, old Republicans. I don't think Marco Rubio, I don't think any of these people on this, they're not helping me out. But I think that if Democrats get power, they will absolutely increase the tech censorship. They think Russia cheated them. They want to do everything under the sun except have a remote shred of self-accountability and self-responsibility. So if Democrats win the House and the Senate, and God forbid they won all branches of government, right now you have Trump facing all of those people. If they won, they would own everything. They would own Google, Twitter, Facebook, and they're basically copying so many nefarious, like national socialist and communist type agendas where they blame you for what they're doing. They tech censorship. They delete you if you disagree with them. It's like really creepy, and I don't want the Democrats to have power in any way, shape, or form. I don't agree with any of that. The next thing I said, racist, politically correct laws. I'm somebody, called me crazy in 2018. I know this is so controversial because everything's so weird, but I agree with Martin Luther King. I like that he said, lead with love, don't lead with hate. I have it on my wall saying you can't beat the darkness with more darkness, you need light. He said, judge someone by the content of their character. I want my kids to be equal. Equality, content of character. This is what I believe in. I don't like racist, politically correct laws, which a lot of Democrats and progressives support, because even the realest progressive, even if I watch their YouTube shows, all they do is pander with race, religion, gender. They do the PC thing where they always can't determine whether it's like somebody acting up or if it is actual racism. Like they have no sort of moral gauge of like what's true or not. They just, everything they paint with a broad brush. And these are the people that want to put in racist laws, which have been in place, which basically doesn't judge you by content of character. I don't think your skin color makes you any better than anyone else or worse than anyone else. I don't think your skin color makes you fit for office. So when you see Republican, like black officials running like John James, he's running off of his ideas. He's running off of a military. He's got a military background, small business. Everything out of his people talk about him. Yes, he's black, but when you see the Republicans promote him, it's like because he's pro-America. It's his message being promoted. When you see a black Democrat or a progressive, it's their skin color that's solely being promoted 90 to 95% of the time. It's like, look at them. They're Muslim and they're black, so they should be the mayor of Minnesota. It's like, on what planet does that make somebody a good candidate? Like John James, he's black, vote for him. They don't say that. They say he's pro-America, he's pro-military, pro-police, doing all the Republican talking points. But the Democrats all they do is identity politics. So if they get into power, they try to pass laws that say if you're white or you're Asian or you're this color, you don't belong there. We're going to let this person cut in front of you or this person do that because of their skin color. They get all of these sort of laws that they claim the moral high ground with, but I find them very racist and anti-Martin Luther King style content of characters. So they've done it in the past. I don't fear, but I think and I know based on evidence that they will do it in the future. I don't see true equality ever coming back to the United States if they gain any sort of power, and feel free to debate and discuss it. 4 years of unproductive hissy fits. I posted a meme in my last video. Their platform is hate Trump. I guess you have universal health care and socialism with Bernie Sanders, but the liberal mainstream platform is literally just hate Trump, fight Trump, I'm offended, rip Republican things out of the ground. I don't understand. 4 years of hissy fits, it doesn't appeal to me. I've seen actually Trump, you can see it in Gizmodo, he cleaned up the ocean. He signed a huge act to clean up the ocean. It's like they don't even care about cleaning up the ocean anymore. They don't care about plants. I don't even see, like, Elon Musk is like the one liberal who actually does stuff, and they don't even like him anymore. He said a few things and they all get mad. I don't know. 4 years of unproductive hissy fits sounds really foolish to me. I like what Trump's doing with security and basic safety, and I realize that the left just doesn't have it anymore. I don't know what to tell you. If you want to protect a building, you can't do so with foolishness, naivety, and weakness. Being weak is not the way to protect a building. You don't protect a country by being weak, foolish, and naive. It's not how you protect a nightclub. It's not how you protect a building. It's not how you protect the people, and it's not how you protect a country. And I find that even the realest person on the left, even the cream of the crop, the best thing they have on the progressive, they're very weak. Okay? It's okay to not be strong. It's okay to help people who need help. But it's really not okay for certain people to be weak. You don't want your security guard to be weak. You don't want your president and your mayor to be weak. You don't want your politicians to be weak. You just don't. You don't want them to be mentally weak. Physically, it's not that important, but I don't like weakness for the country, just like I don't like it for the building I live in, just like I don't like it for myself. So I find everything that they do very weak, and they're just fighting Trump, who's strong. So if you're weak fighting strong ideas and strong policies and strong, trade and all these things that are actually strength for our country, you're ripping down the strong person for something weaker. There's no liberal or progressive leader that appeals to me at all. Because, say I agree with 80 to 90% of what Trump's doing, then you got to tell me, hey, I'm going to fight the 20% and I'm going to keep doing the 80%, what he's doing right. The media, how he's calling out the media, how he's doing, trade, even the things that he did right overseas. I'll get into other stuff later. But you can't just fight him, because now the resist movement is like you're resisting things that I like better about politics. You're resisting the reason that I'm actually interested in politics, why I didn't pay attention for 15 years because I knew you were fake. You're resisting realness. You're resisting non-political correctness. You're resisting small businesses booming. You're resisting prosperity. So there's nothing on the left. I get it. That's the ground they chose. I hate Trump. I'm so much better than Trump. I'm so much more virtuous than Trump. But it doesn't appeal to me at all, and I don't see a single leader on that side who does that. And if you tell them that, if you have a concern with that, they'll call you racist, sexist, xenophobic. Oh no, what about the white people in America? Oh, I'm well aware that there's some weirdo white people in America. That's why we don't need other weirdo people, worse people, or people of equal weirdness from other countries joining them to make our country more unsafe. I'm not saying we don't have problems here, but I don't see the left trying to solve any of them with common sense and strength. Not at all. Taxes and small businesses. I mean, this should be blatantly obvious. When you raise taxes, the corporations don't pay their fair shares. The corporations move to China. The corporations move overseas. They hide their money in Panama and Switzerland, which they're probably doing anyway. And they move to another state where there's not high taxes. So high taxes burdens the working class and person like myself, because now instead of starting a small business for free, it costs me $1,000 a year and I get taxed 10% on everything I do. Taxes don't help me. Healthcare scam doesn't help me. Nothing leftists do helps me whatsoever in any way, shape, or form. Every time their mouth moves, it results in me paying more taxes to the federal government. I don't want to pay for these wars. I don't want to pay for all the stuff that the federal government's doing. I'll pay for roads. I'll pay for schools. I'll pay for, people that need help and people that need stuff. But I don't see why every time that progressives, oh, everyone's gonna die if I don't get my health care. Oh my God, I'm so not racist. Oh, for sure, for sure, for sure. So let me look at my paycheck. Let me look at my taxes. Every time a liberal or progressive moves their mouth, it results in me handing more of my money and or property over to the federal government. I don't care if I live in Poland, Japan, United States, North Korea, or England. I don't want to give my money and my the little money I have to the federal government. So I don't agree with their tax policy whatsoever, because when their mouth starts talking, my pockets are more empty every single time. And I could argue or debate with a progressive and tell you why not only my money is going to get taken, but the quality of everything that they're claiming to provide is going to go down. Because it's basic common sense outside of policy and polls, and the Koch brothers even agree with us. I don't care a single thing that the Koch brothers say. No disrespect to the Koch brothers, but I don't care what they say. I don't care what their poll says. I don't care if they did a study. They're probably pro that. They'll do anything. Like I said, I don't know them. I don't know what they're doing. I'm just saying the like one-liners that progressives have, they don't appeal to me. I don't care what the Koch brothers are doing. I don't care what Ted Cruz is doing. I know the truth, and the truth is that high taxes and destroying small businesses is what liberals do very well. In California, we had the most jobs leave the country to China. It's not a surprise. I'm probably going to dip out soon because I don't feel like paying ridiculous fees to start a business here. It's insane. The healthcare scam. What Trump did, which affected me personally, under Obama, I basically had the federal government or insurance companies. I have no idea where my money's going because it certainly didn't go to anything that helped me. It went to somebody. They took $8,000 to $12,000, $13,000 from me, and I couldn't opt out. Trump changed the individual mandate, which says if you don't want to pay for this health care, you're not financially enslaved to this health care system, you can be free. You can pay for that one, you cannot pay for that one. That's real freedom. But when the liberals and Trump, or whoever, what's his name, Obama came to town, and I know a lot of progressives say, well, Mitt Romney made that health care. It's right wing. Well, if Mitt Romney made it, poo-poo on him too, because I don't care about Mitt Romney either. So I don't care who made it. The whole healthcare system was a scam, because now what they said is anomaly. You have to pay. If you don't pay, we're going to take this percentage of your entire paycheck. So they basically guilt you and force you by penalty into paying. That's financial enslavement. So here you go. Here you go, insurance company. Here you go, whatever. Kaiser Permanente or this one or that one, Blue Cross Blue Shield. Here, take $12,000 of my money in a year. What do I get for those $12,000? Outside of Obama's mouth moving and Bernie Sanders' mouth, oh, it's going to be so good. It's going to be free for everyone. Okay, what did I actually see with my own eyes? I lost money and I got nothing for it. I didn't save a single dollar. I didn't save a single penny on any sort of medication. I paid 100% for every single thing I did and got taxed every single month, $200 to $300. So that's a net loss of me for $12,000 and I got nothing in return. That's what I see with universal health care. Of course the payment's going to go up. It's not going to be cheaper. It's going to be expensive. Well, everyone's going to have health care. I don't want health care. I'll get it eventually. I'll get it when I feel like I want it. But in this climate, I don't even want it because it doesn't actually help me, because it's tanking the system based on this failed ideology. If you want everyone to eat food, are you going to close every restaurant and make a singular, food that everyone can eat? No, that's like super communism. It doesn't actually work. It sounds good in theory, but I don't want healthcare. People shouldn't be forced to pay healthcare. And when you don't force people and steal their money, then actually the free market will take care of itself if they start holding certain, pharmacy companies accountable. But this is big stuff to do. I don't know how to do it because our whole financial system and our whole structural system basically makes them, raise prices. It's like if you don't maximize profits for your shareholders, then you can get sued. So the whole United States system is rigged. I'm not here to fix the whole system. All I'm telling you is I'm trying to keep as much freedom as possible and give up the least. I understand that you can't do that completely, but it's no surprise to anybody that liberals and progressives via healthcare scams steal more of my money, and I don't like it. The next thing, personal liberty, very, very clear. I mean, with the gun laws and whatnot, there's freedom of speech laws, there's other things that, there's no freedom of speech laws yet, but when it comes to Google, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, it's no surprise who's cracking down the most on free speech. I'm not saying they're writing laws yet, but they've done it in other countries, hate speech laws. It's not going to be the right wing that does it here. It's going to be the progressives and liberals if anyone does it. I don't know that they're for sure going to do it. When it comes to gun regulation, they don't really care about the statistics. I talk to police officers in California. I say, how much percentage of crime is done with legal registered guns? How much percentage of crime is done with illegal guns? They almost every single time tell me a majority of crime is done with illegal guns. I don't want all of these failed policies and ideologies I'm talking about before come into play, and then those same people bringing them into existence are trying to tell people that they need to give up rights or this or that. Things are already very well registered. I'm not saying that they're coming for everything, but I just don't like the direction that they're going, and I find myself leaning more towards the conservative, leave me alone, the libertarian, stop stealing all of our money. Every which way, I don't want to raise taxes or lower freedom in any which way. I want to go the other direction, more freedoms, lower taxes, not more taxes, less freedoms. That's how the government wins. That's how you get destroyed by your country or corrupt leader. So if Trump is really Hitler, then he shouldn't be regulating more guns and taking more taxes away. Small business growth, foreign policy. He's not perfect, but what he did in Syria is he overturned $1 billion program that the CIA and others like McCain and who else knows ran that. They wanted to keep funding rebels. It didn't work in Libya. It wasn't working in Syria. It actually led largely to the refugee crisis, which has in turn, destabilized many parts of the United States, Canada, and Europe. So Trump overturned a program in Syria. A lot of refugees went back to Syria because, spoiler alert, if you're not dropping bombs on a country and funding rebels and funding terrorist organizations either directly or indirectly, then you don't need a big refugee crisis and people can just stay in the country that they're from. So the United States and other countries should stay out of these countries and stop making them worse all over the world. Trump actually showed signs of doing that. I know he didn't end the whole war. Mattis is saying that 30 more days in Yemen or Saudi Arabia and Yemen, it seems like they're cracking down on that. What he did in North Korea, that alone, regardless of what happens, is more than Obama and Bush did. They were going in the wrong direction. Bush went in the wrong direction. Obama's going further in the wrong direction. Trump went up here. Even if he does nothing else, I hope he does way more and makes world peace. But if he does nothing else, he's already accomplished more than George Bush and Obama combined when it comes to foreign policy. So any Republican that will support his policies is a friend of mine, and any liberal or progressive that's trying to tank what Trump's doing is still a friend of mine, but not someone I want to vote for. When it comes to trade, he's already done more for trade in 2 years than any president ever has. He said he wanted to end NAFTA and renegotiate a deal with Canada and Mexico. He's doing that. He did that. He said he was going to pull out of certain things that didn't make sense in Europe. He did that. He said he's doing everything he said he was going to do, and it all makes sense because if you're a weak businessman, just think as a business person or an entrepreneur. I'm no Warren Buffett or Donald Trump, but I'm not a fool. When it comes to the United States of America, we're the most powerful country in the world. We have the biggest military in the world. Financially, we're top 3 biggest countries, strongest countries, most powerful countries, richest countries in the single world. Maybe one of the richest countries ever, according to some people. We have a lot of power. If I'm managing America, if I'm the manager of America, just like I think of myself or others, I'm not going into a meeting like, oh yeah, whatever, bro. Like, well, yeah, we'll give you all that for free. Oh yeah, we'll keep that for 20 years, even though it's not really that dope. Like, for sure. No, if I'm America's manager, I'm doing exactly what Trump's doing. We're done with that deal. We're done with that deal. We're done with that deal. We're done with that China. We're done with that Europe. We're done with that Canada. We're making new deals. And guess what? We're so strong and powerful, people have to make deals with us. So it's like we have all the leverage on our side. We have the biggest military. We have the biggest, some of the biggest industries, some of the most innovation. We have some of the most freedom, the country that everyone wants to go to. So why would you not use that for business? Trump is smart. He's a businessman. He knows that, oh my God, Trump's ruining relations. No, China is like probably shook. Europe shook. Canada shook. Angela Merkel's like, oh snap, I'm out of here. Nobody wants to deal with that. It's not because he's so bad. It's because he's so good. It's because he's so real. And all their little crony moves that they were trying to make aren't going to work. So with trade deals, he's already done more in 2 years than anybody ever has. I'll even go as far to say, I don't know another single politician like Trump. I hope he wins 6 years because I don't see anyone else of his caliber. And he's seriously a gem for the United States of America. He woke up this world and this country to how bad politicians are. Is Trump the most coolest, stablest person in the world that's like totally exactly who I'd want? Like maybe not, but as far as looking at the competition in him, I'm like, I'll take 6 years of him. The next good politician's not even close to him. Ted Cruz, Rand Paul's kind of cool. Like, I don't want them to be president. I like Trump. That's why I made the song. I like him way better. I hope he runs 6 years and he's just so much better than everyone else. Stop hating on him. Stop resisting him. Start realizing why he's winning and appealing to the hundreds of millions, if not billions of people you're not appealing to. He's not the be-all, end-all, but he's way better than these other criminals and cronies and liars and deceivers and I'm going to give everyone everything. And then they go start a war. I mean, there's nothing really, it's like he's done so much. That's how I feel with trade and foreign policy. And if you listen, last thing, and then I'm going to open up a question and answer. The last thing about Trump, if you listen to Trump, like the first thing that made me actually like Trump was I didn't like him for a year. I liked a few things he did, but I was resisting him. I was resisting Trump. When I listened to a full context rally or interview, more a rally probably where he's free, I was like, man, this guy keeps it really real. Like I listened to him talk for 20 minutes and he's saying stuff that I say. He's talking about the media. He's pinpointing exactly who's the biggest, proponents of fake news. He's calling out this, he's calling out that, he's calling out that trade deal, he's calling out the EU, he's calling out Canada, he called out the wars, he called out Iraq, he called out Syria. I was like, what? This guy's the real deal. It was when I actually listened to him in full. If you listen to Trump with an open mind, without hating him, without resisting his personality and his off-putting, tendencies that he has, there's good energy there. He's not hateful. He's really not negative. He's hilarious. He's funny. He's uplifting, and he's strong. He's trying to make America great again or now, whatever. It's like great, good. We're moving in an upwards direction. That's the energy I got from him, even when I didn't like him. When you listen to his haters, it's not the same. I don't dislike them. I don't dislike Don Lemon or any of these liberal people. But when I listen to them, even though I don't dislike them, they're not bringing me up. They're not uplifting me. They're not talking about strength and security and prosperity and small businesses. It's all negative. It's like Avenatti's commercial. We are mad. Anger, I told this, to multiple people. I don't care on what side. Anger and fear and mad, being upset, these are not good tendencies. These are when you act irrationally. These are when you act foolishly. I don't like to be angry at all. Of course I get angry. Of course I get upset. Of course I get sad. I'm not a robot. But do I revel in those feelings? No, those are things that I try to never have. And when I do, I'm like, shoot, that wasn't fun. So the fact that people are reveling in their pride, one of the 7 deadly sins. We are proud. We're so proud. We're proud for a month, and we're going to be proud for the whole year. That's a sinning attitude. If you're going to be angry and fearful and negative and fighting, like these are things that I don't want to do. So I just don't see any of that from his haters. Even if I go in with a strong mind, it's all downwards. It's all identity politics. It's all, if you don't agree with me, you're racist. It's all projection tactics of he's racist because he wants these policies and I'm not racist because I judge people solely by the skin color that they have and I'm going to blame a whole race, but I'm not racist, you're racist, even though I'm saying that all people with this skin color are terrorists or they're bad or they're racist or they're horrible or if someone votes Republican, they're terrible people, but I'm not the racist one. You are because I said so and I own all the television stations. I can't vibe with whatever they're putting out. So overall, I'm going to take a question and answer. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you for listening. But these are the reasons that I'm voting all Republican. I'll probably leave a few blank. I'm not going to just be a sycophant like for the Republican Party because I don't even really like the Republican Party. I like Trump, and I like the fact that a lot of Republicans are now supporting Trump. And no Democrats, until I see otherwise, if progressives are going to stop lying and liberals will stop lying and they support the good things that Trump does, instead of basing their whole identity and their whole brand, back to branding, their whole brand is resisting Trump. Their whole brand is stopping Trump. Their whole brand, and I don't like that. I like 80 to 95% of what he does. So if not more or less, I don't know. So if you're resisting that, then I don't want to vote for you. That's how I feel. That's how millions of people feel. It's happening all over the world, in Brazil, in Canada. These liberals and progressives, I love them to death. They're good people, but they have to stop doing this really small, circular, this is how we feel and everyone else that disagrees with us is bad. It's such a losing strategy, and I can't even find a single liberal or progressive policy that makes any sort of sense to me whatsoever, because it all results in me handing over my taxes or my money to the federal government. So it doesn't make sense to me. I'll take a question and answer now. We'll do it for like 30 minutes. Thank you guys so much for joining. Good luck tomorrow. It should be a fun day. I'll answer.